Hello everyone, how are you? This is the final video of Unit 3 and the last one before the test, okay? So we're going to continue talking, of course, about food. And here we have the image of something that most Chilean people really like, right? Which are barbecues. So we have 4 people are planning a barbecue, but some of their friends are vegetarian. What do they decide to do? Listen and choose from these 4 options. So here we have Manuel from Chile, Suzanne from Germany, Sarah from South Africa, and Erin from Turkey, right? So they decide to plan this barbecue for more friends, and they have this issue that some of them are vegetarian. So we have 4 options. Cook meat and vegetables together. Cook only meat but make some salads too. Cook meat and vegetables on different grills, or cook only vegetables. So we're going to listen and you're going to decide which option is the correct one.
Track 26.
So how about we organize a barbecue?
Barbecues can be tricky because that means that we have to cook meat and quite a few people are vegetarian.
That's a thought.
To do some pasta alternative, maybe?
No, we can put veggies on the barbecue as well.
Yeah, that could
yes.
be. But then some people are really strict that they don't want like any kind of meat, fat and stuff being mixed with.
Yes, that's true as well.
But we could have a barbie. We could have like mushrooms and things like this on one burner and another, and meat and sausages on another place.
Yeah,
Yes.
That's a good
separated.
Yeah, I think that will work if we have like,
Different grills.
yes, that will work.
So what should we buy?
Well, sausages are nice.
Okay, so remember, if you need to listen again, you can go back the video and listen, right? Now, what option do you think is the correct one? Option 3, right? Cook meat and vegetables on 2 different grills. Very good. Now, we're going to listen to a new part of the conversation, and here they're going to be mentioning some things they need for making a salad, okay? So here we have options: lettuce, black olives, Parmesan cheese, olive oil, feta cheese, limes, garlic, and tomatoes. We're going to listen and you're going to tick the options that you think are correct, okay?
Track 27.
What about salads?
Greek salad I can do.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. We need to buy some feta cheese then.
Yeah, feta cheese and some black olives and olive oil.
Very important.
Yes.
What about dessert?
Now this is getting too much now.
Well, it depends. A lot of people are going to come.
Yes.
Well then, keep it easy and simple.
Okay. So
Ice cream?
What about fruit? Melons?
Okay, so what are the things they need for the salad then? They say feta cheese, right? Black olives and olive oil. Yeah, that is going to be their salad. Greek salad, I think, right? Feta cheese, black olives, and olive oil. Very good. Now, here we have some sentences or questions, and 6 of those 9 sentences were part of the suggestions made in the listening. Can you remember which 6 of these suggestions the friends make? We have 9 options, but only 6 were part of the listening. Try to remember. We have, how about we organize a barbecue? We could do some pasta. We can put veggies on the barbecue as well. Why don't we get some burgers? Sausages are nice. How about a fruit salad? Perhaps we should make a cake. What about fruit? Melons? So, we're going to listen again, and then you're going to circle the correct suggestions.
Track 26.
So how about we organize a barbecue?
Barbecues can be tricky because that means that we have to cook meat, and quite a few people are vegetarian.
That's a thought.
To do some pasta alternative, maybe.
No, we can put veggies on the barbecue as well.
Yeah, that could
yes.
be. But then some people are really strict that they don't want like any kind of meat, fat and stuff being mixed with.
Yes, that's true as well.
But we could have a barbie. We could have like mushrooms and things like this on one burner, and another, and meat and sausages on another place.
Yeah,
Yes.
That's a good
separated.
So I think that will work if we have like,
Different grills.
yes, that will work.
So what should we buy?
Well, sausages are nice.
Okay, let's listen to the second part.
Track 27.
What about salads?
Greek salad I can do.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. We need to buy some feta cheese then.
Yeah, feta cheese and some black olives and olive oil.
Very important.
Yes.
What about dessert?
Now, this is getting too much now.
Well, it depends. A lot of people are going to come.
Yes.
Well, then keep it easy and simple.
Okay. So
Ice cream?
What about fruit? Melons?
Okay, so which options are the one that they mention? We have, how about we organize a barbecue? Then we have number 2, we could do some pasta for the vegetarians, right? Then we have 3, we can put veggies on the barbecue as well. Why don't we get some burgers? Nope. Sausages are nice. What about fruits? Melons, right? Very good. Now, if you pay attention to the highlighted expressions, all of these expressions are used to make suggestions, right? Making suggestions. So we can use different ways. For example, we can use questions, yes? Or we can give ideas by using positive sentences, like in the case of number 2 and number 3, yeah? So, let's see. We have the first expression is, how about we organize a barbecue? And this is very similar to number 6, right? How about? But if you pay attention, here the difference is what comes next after the expression. So in this case, we have a fruit salad, which is a noun, right? So we say, how about a fruit salad? How about a pizza? How about a barbecue, right? But in this case, what we have here is not a noun, right? But it's a verb, an action. In that case, we're going to include a subject before that. How about we organize the barbecue? Who is going to organize the barbecue? We are, right? So how about we organize a barbecue? How about a fruit salad? How about a barbecue? And now, number 8, what about works the same way. What about we organize a barbecue? What about fruit? What about a fruit salad? They work the same, all right? Then we have number 2 and number 3. He says we could or we can. These are more direct suggestions, right? Because they are not questions. So we say, we could do some pasta. We can put veggies on the barbecue as well. Now, some students ask the difference between can and could, and the difference is that could is a bit more formal. It's a more formal expression, okay, more formal language. Then we have why don't we? This always works the same, right? We use it in negative. We don't say why do we? We say why don't? Why don't we get some burgers? Right? Why don't we get some burgers? ¿Por qué no? Right? And then we have perhaps we should, right? This is full of maybes. So perhaps just saying, right? We should make a cake. Maybe. What do you think? Right? These are ways of making suggestions. Always pay attention to what comes after the suggestion. In this case, of course, after a modal verb, we use a main verb, the same as we could and can, right? But in the case of why don't we, right, and an action, or how about we also use an action as well. All right, I'm going to leave you some exercises on the virtual classroom as always, so you can have a bit more practice. Now, for the next part, this is something that you can try to think on your own. So imagine that you're going to plan a meal for your group or for your family, maybe in your home. Imagine that this quarantine is over and you want to organize something so you can meet with your family again, right? The meal is going to be in your house. So you have to decide some things like, should you eat inside your house or outside? Do you live in an apartment or in a house? Maybe that's a good point to consider, right? Could the meal be in or near your home? It can be in your home or maybe in a restaurant, right? Or maybe you can pay for a certain room, right? In your neighborhood, and they can lend you a place to have a meal. What kind of food should you make? Italian, Chinese, a barbecue maybe, Mexican? How many courses? Are you going to include all 3 courses? Starters, main course, and dessert? Salads maybe? And what about drinks? What options are you going to have? Imagine that if you're having kids, right, or cousins or any children, right, you would like to think about them as well. But if you have friends, maybe any type of liquor, right, beer, maybe pisco sour, things like that. Who should make the food? Are you going to cook? Maybe your partner or a friend of yours or your parents? How can you help? Try to think about this, okay? And we can talk about this in our next lesson. That would be interesting. Now, for the last part, we're going to study a bit about recipes, okay? And this part is very interesting to me. So, we're going to be studying recipes. So, first, here we have the images of 2 different snacks, right? We have warm spiced nuts and we have tomato and cheese bruschetta, okay? And here we have some ingredients. Do you know the name of these ingredients? What's A? We say rosemary, right? Rosemary, very good. B, olive oil. C are chilies. D, we have garlic. This is a cheese, right? Mozzarella cheese. What is this? Basil, very good. G, that can be a bit difficult. We call this a baking tray. This is a baking tray, right? We use it especially inside the oven. And then we have a common bowl, right? Now, think about this. What ingredients do you think from this list are going to be useful for us if we want to prepare warm spiced nuts? What ingredients do we have to use? Maybe chilies for the spiciness, right? Garlic maybe? And here in the image we have rosemary, right? What about this? Do you think we're going to need a baking tray or a bowl? And think about tomato and cheese bruschetta. Of course we need to use cheese, right? What else? What can you see? Basil? Maybe olive oil? Maybe garlic? We're going to find out now. So it says, read the recipe for bruschetta to check. So we're going to read all together this recipe. Tomato and cheese bruschetta. We need 2 medium tomatoes chopped, 100 grams mozzarella cheese chopped as well, 2 to 3 basil leaves, 40 milliliters extra virgin olive oil, salt, pepper, 4 slices of good white bread, 1 clove of garlic peeled. And of course, we have first the title, the ingredients list with the measurements, right? And then we have the instructions. It says, chop the tomatoes and mozzarella and put them in a bowl. Add the basil, oil, salt, and pepper. Stir, then leave for 20 minutes to an hour. Toast the bread until golden brown. Then put on a plate. Cut the garlic clove in half and rub over each piece of toast. Put a quarter of the tomato mixture on each slice and serve. Yes? So here we have the instructions. Notice that we use imperative language to talk about instructions, right? Chop the tomatoes. We don't say you should chop the tomatoes. We use the verb as a command, right? Which of the following verbs can you find in the recipe for bruschetta? So when we write recipes, something very important is to learn the verbs. What verbs do we need? So can you find some of these verbs on the list? We have chop, stir, right? We have cut, and we have serve, right? Now, if you need to read a more in-depth description of this, you can go to the Aula Virtual or you can use a dictionary, right? But chop is to cut something in very small pieces, right? Like tomato. You chop tomato in very small pieces. Cut for is when you cut something in half, or maybe you can cut a chicken, right? Is a bigger portion of things. Pour, we use pour with liquids when we pour sauce into something, right? In Spanish would be something like verter, right? Then we have shake, energetically mix something, serve, and there's stir, which is kind of like revolver, remover, something like that. So, now, here we have other examples of cooking verbs, right? Can you identify what type of food can we cook in each of these ways? Bake. What is bake? Hornear, right? We bake in an oven. Can you give examples of things you can bake? We can bake bread, cake maybe, biscuits, cookies, potatoes as well. We bake them in the oven, right? Then we have boil, which is cook something in water, right? So we can boil the rice, for example. We can also boil potatoes, eggs, pasta, vegetables. Everything that is boiled in water, it's boiled. Then we have fry. We can fry a lot of things. We can fry onions, right? Or chips, potatoes, fish. Fry fish, delicious, right? We can also fry steaks, maybe. For the grill, you can grill meat. Nowadays, we can also grill vegetables, right? Or maybe fish. Then we have roasts. We can roast meat, chicken, potatoes maybe. And we toast bread, right? The bread is the only, I think, the only kind of food that you can toast. Now, we're going to read the second recipe for the warm spice nuts, and you're going to choose the correct verb to complete the sentences. Pause the video now, read, complete, and then we check. Are you ready? So let's see. We have warm spice nuts, 200 grams of mixed nuts, 40 milliliters of olive oil, a little salt, 10 milliliters of chopped fresh rosemary, 5 milliliters of chopped dry chilies. Put the nuts, oil, and salt in a bowl. Chop the fresh rosemary and dried chilies and add to the bowl. Stir all the ingredients, then pour onto a baking tray. Bake at 180 degrees Celsius for 15 to 20 minutes, shaking once. Pour the nuts onto a kitchen paper and then into a dish. Serve warm. Very good. Now, read both recipes again. Which snack do you think is the easiest to make? The bruschetta or the spice nuts? Would you like to try them? Why or why not? Now, we are going to have a homework now in which you are going to think of a snack or some other quick dish that you know how to make. You're going to write your own recipe, the ingredients list, and then the instructions. On the Aula Virtual, as always, there are a lot of more useful links, right, and videos that you can use that can help you to create your own recipe. So, as always, if you have questions, please write back to my email and I will see you very, very soon. Bye bye.